Hey guys, how's it going? Happy Sunday. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. I'm ready to get this trading week started. So let me get this room set up real quick. And then once everything's all set up, we can get started. So let me just finish editing the settings here. Today is April 11th. Wow. This year's flying by, guys. I don't know if it feels like that to you guys too, but I feel like this year just started. We're already like halfway through April almost. It's been a great trading year so far. So I think that's what's probably like passing time so quickly for us, because we trade every day and we just hang out every day. So it's like we don't really notice that time is passing by so quickly, which is good. Because then it'll be quicker for us to see, how our trading year plays out. So let me see if I could get this all set up real quick. All right, that's good. Let me just get this link sent out to you guys, and then we can get started. So you guys traded over the weekend. You guys did pretty good. I'm just looking at the profits so far. It looks like you guys like did some work this weekend. So like Mercedes over here took that US 30 sell that I was looking at right here, using either the new strategy or using Josh's strategy, but she hit full TP right there off that. That's pretty good. So I'll go over these profits in a little bit. Let me just finish sending out this link. So I don't think everyone's in here yet, but let me just get this out to everybody. So I'll go over that, and then I will send over the Zoom link for you guys here in the premium as well. So let me just get this going over here. We got that sent out there. Got that sent out there. Send it over to public groups. And then lastly, over here as well. All right, so that looks good. And then let me just send out the Zoom link for you guys here who are in the premium. Oh, hold up. Let me send this link out to our social media as well. So let me just get this over to you guys here. Got that set up. Oh, crap, I don't want to send the wrong link. No, okay, it's good. All right, my bad, guys. I have the wrong window open on my thing right here. So let me just copy this over. Totally off. Looks good. Copy this over here. All right. Sent that link out. See, we got a 3-minute signal right there. Be looking out for that. So if I see any trades, I'll give them to you guys. I just don't see anything right now. Let's get this link sent out to the social media, Facebook, Instagram. We should be good. All right. This on the IG real quick. All right, looks solid. Got that right there. Swipe up button going. All right. Man, they keep changing these swipe up buttons. So everything's new now. There we go. So, all right, everything's all set up. Let's plug this in real quick. And pull up the chat. We should be good to go. So that looks good. All right, looks like people are still making their way in. Hey, Josh, how's it going? Hey, John. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Peter. Hey, Stanley. Hey, everybody. So hopefully you guys had a great weekend. I did. It was a relaxing weekend for the most part. But you know, I'm ready to get back to the charts, guys. I did see you guys lock in a ton of profit this weekend, so I was just looking at the results from this weekend. So looking at this over here, looks like Mercedes took this sell right here using the new scalp strategy or using Josh's. I mean, it's the same entry here. If you're using the new scalp strategy or Josh's strategy here, either one, it would have hit full TP. So Mercedes took that trade. She had full TP, locked in $1,000 off that. Patricia over here, she took a couple of XRP trades over the weekend. She made 1,529, I think, yesterday. And then on her other account over here, or are these the same thing? I think this is the same thing. Let's delete this one. And a couple of you guys as well. So Shawn over here, I know Shawn's new to K2. He signed up recently. He was trading Bitcoin XRP over the weekend. He locked in about 289. So nice work off that. Dimitri over here locked in 675 trading Bitcoin over the weekend. And new levels over here as well. Yeah, it looks like a lot of you guys traded XRP over the weekend. New levels over here locked in 778. And then Ivaritus over here, he said using K2 indicator on crypto weekend. So he traded Bitcoin, XRP, and Litecoin. Dude locked in a crazy profit. I don't know if this is US dollars or something else, but I mean, that's crazy profit, right? And you can see here that he actually used a K2 indicator. So nice work off that. And lastly, Javier over here too, trade US 30. So that's about it for now, guys. We're going to try to catch some more profits as we go. And if I see anything, I'll call something for you guys. But if you guys are brand new here, basically this session, I'm thinking about changing the session a little bit because normally what I do is I just mark up all of the zones here. Sorry, guys, my dog's barking. I usually just bark up. I mean, I said bark up. I usually mark up all of the zones here for the Forex pairs for the trading week so that we can be prepared for, you know, any trades that would come up. But it seems like a lot of you guys don't even really trade Forex anymore. You guys are more focused on US 30 and indices, or you're just using your own strategy, you know, or, you know, applying the K2 indicators to your own strategy to lock in profit. So I'll probably go through this really quickly just for my own reference so that I can have all the zones up. But I'm probably not going to take too much time here unless you guys like ask me specifically, like, hey, Shawn, can you check out your USD or like G or something like that? Because I feel like it's just a waste of time. And if you guys don't want it, there's no point in me, you know, going through and marking everything one by one. So with that said, let me turn on my fan. It's starting to get hot here in California, guys. For you guys who are in the area, it's starting to feel like summer, especially this weekend. But yeah, guys, so let's get started. Let me check the chat again real quick. Shawn's asking, where's the Zoom link, Shawn? Oh, sorry, guys. Yeah, my bad. That is my bad. Thanks for reminding me, Shawn, for that Zoom link. I keep forgetting. But let's go. Got that right there. All right. There's a Zoom link for you guys right there. All right, so everyone looks good for the most part. Let's see what else is over here. Hey, Alan, how's it going? Hey, Essence. Hey, Dave. Hey, Key, how's it going? Nice, nice. All right, guys. So let me see. And John said, we go where the money is. Forex, isn't it? I mean, I make pretty decent profit off Forex as well. I mean, it's not just, it's not that I don't trade it anymore. It's just not my main focus, right? Because we make a lot more profit from US 30, and that's why I focus on US 30. And you know, sometimes our Forex trades, like it's not the good market conditions for Forex right now, because the Forex market is just moving a lot slower than, you know, it normally does. It's not moving like how it was when, you know, Trump was president, obviously, you know, and it would just spike all over the place and we catch moves. Now it's kind of hard for us to really catch stuff that moves smoothly, but I still do take the Forex trades. It's not that it doesn't work anymore. It's just that the market is just not there for Forex trades right now. And that's why we're not really too focused on it. But I'm still going to go and mark up all the zones anyways, because I still call the signals for you guys who are in the premium. So let me just check US 30 real quick. I'm going to see if there's any entries here that we could possibly enter. Let's see. So there's a lot of entries that were here when the session opened. So if you guys have been following the new strategy that I've been applying, basically, if you took any of these trades here, they all would have hit full TP. Like that right there. That sell would have hit full TP. This one would have hit full TP. This one again right here would have hit full TP. Basically, I'm not going over the strategy yet, but if you guys have been watching all of my previous sessions, this is the new strategy that I'm currently working on right now. It's very similar to Josh's 3-minute strategy. The only difference is that we don't use the pivots anymore. We mostly use order blocks for confirmation of the rejection. So like, for example, here we see price rejecting off this order block. We have the sell signal right here indicating a momentum swing downwards. And then we use the same parameters as Josh's scalp strategy. It's just 25.50. I know it's a negative risk reward, but it's a very high win rate. So that's why we don't mind using a negative risk reward for this strategy here. It's a scalping strategy. So like right here, obviously full TP. Again, right here, obviously full TP. If you took this buy down here, obviously full TP, right? So this is a strategy that I've been applying mostly. So if I do see a trade, I'll call it for you guys so that you guys can take it with me. But if we don't have one yet, then we're just going to be, we're just going to be looking for the trades as they come. Otherwise, I'll just be going down the Forex pairs right here, and I'm going to be marking up the zones so that we can be prepared for this trading week. So other than that, guys, if you guys have questions, just put them in the chat. I'll answer them for you, and I'll mark up anything specific that you guys are looking at. So let's see. Nice. Hey, Mark, how's it going? Hope you guys had a great weekend. All right, so let's get this started. It's 8 o'clock right now, so I'm gonna try to get through these really quickly. I don't really want to waste too much time marking up these zones. So let me just start off with odd cat over here, delete everything off the chart. I'll show you guys how I analyze everything from scratch. So basically, I'm gonna zoom out from this point. Here's a naked chart. First thing I'm going to do is draw market structure. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the K² SR indicator. With that on, I'm gonna go ahead and draw my zones up so that we can identify the overall market structure and also identify the current market structure that's important. So we got that right there. We got this right there. And I do have my alerts on, guys. So if I do see something, I will take a look at the scalps. If you guys see something before I do, because obviously I'm not on the US 30 page right now, you guys can just send a message in the chat or something, and then I can take a look at it. And if it looks like a good trade, I'll give it to you guys and I'll take it with you guys. But currently right now, I don't think there's anything really worth taking right now. So here's odd CAD. There's my market structure. I'm going to go and actually we should, what was that? 3-minute signal. All right, so we got a pending buy signal there. I'll come back to it. All right, so looking at this here, I need to get the lower zone just in case we decide to take a sell here so that we can identify where the lower point is. All right, got that marked up right there. Go back on the 4-hour, and then I'm gonna turn off the K² SR indicator right here. All right, cool. So with this drawn right here, you guys can see how market structure has moved, right? So we can start from here. Price pretty much came down, consolidated a bit, broke below here, consolidated again here, broke down, consolidated, broke down, and then now it's in some deep consolidation. So just looking at current price right here, I think what would be important would probably be, let's see, probably this area right here. So I'm just gonna put a vertical line right here so that you guys can see what's actually important here. Well, in my perspective, just this area right here, because if we were to go ahead and delete this zone, like if we deleted everything here, like this zone, this one, and even this one right here, you guys can see that this is what's important, right? You want to wait for price to either break below here or above here to take that trade. So if I put those zones back up right here, you can see how everything kind of comes into full circle, right? So if you were identifying market structure from here, this is previous market structure because price was bouncing around this area. Basically, whenever price broke structure, like down here, we would take that sell, right? We take a sell right there. We get our full TP right there. As price swings back up and swings back into this market structure, like right here, this is where we take the buy. And then we hit full TP off that, right? Same situation, price comes back down. It breaks back into the market structure right here. We take a sell, another full TP. And it just goes back and forth. This is why it's important to identify market structure first, because once you identify market structure, you know exactly where to look. So like looking at current price right here for odd CAD, for me, I'm personally waiting for it to close below here. Once it closes below here, I would anticipate that it pushes down to this structure down here, kind of like what happened right here, right? Price broke structure, came down, tested this structure right here, bounced off it, and it came back up. Same situation here. I would probably wait for it to either break below there or break above here to change from, you know, either a buy or a sell. In order to get my bias, I turn on the K2 momentum indicator right here. And then you can see obviously right here, we have a sell bias. So when price broke and closed past structure right here, I would have taken a sell right there and then full TP, right? Same situation right here. Price broke above here. We had that buy signal. And I just write it up to the next zone up there, right? Full TP right there as well. And this is why we have such a high win rate here at K2, because I wait for these confirmations. I don't just hop into trades whenever, I don't just hop into trades randomly. I wait for that confirmation. And then that's why we don't have that many trades. We probably have like 1 to 5 trades a week for Forex, but they almost always hit. Like if you guys followed our trades from last week, here's the results from last week. So April week 1 on, we had about, let's see, we had 4 wins and 1 loss for Forex for 140 pips. And then we had 9 wins and 0 losses for indices, which is basically US 30. So that's why we have such a high win rate, because we, we only take trades that we're like almost positive are going to hit. So that's pretty much it for OddCAD right here. I'm going to do the same thing for every other pair. I'm just going to go and drop these zones so that when I do see these trades during the week, I can just hop into them and I don't have to go and redraw these zones. Because obviously you can see that it does take time if you're doing it like on the fly. So going back to OddCAD or OddCHF right here, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the K2SR indicator. And since the market didn't really move much last week, this trade right here at full TP as well, it's the same analysis that I just gave you guys, right? Pretty much I draw up the market structure so that when I see price break the zone, like right here, I take that sell to full TP right here, right? And that's pretty much all that we're waiting for. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom out from here, look at the market structure. It's pretty much the same from last week, so I don't really have to change much. Just make maybe some small adjustments right here. Maybe another one right here. Another one over here. A couple over here. Let's see. All right, yeah, looks pretty solid. There's not really much that needs to be changed here, so I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna go over to OddJPY. Let me go ahead and see what's going on over here. This one right here. Small adjustments here. There's not really too much that needs to be changed. Instead of me going and drawing, redrawing everything, I just make small adjustments. So this one needs to be redone because it's a little different. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do this real quick right here. We got another one right there, one right there, and right there. And you guys can see, if you guys have the K2SR indicators, drawing market structure is really simple. You don't have to really do much. You just need to turn that on and there you go. You have market structure drawn up and then you just draw your zones over it. That's pretty much it. Let's see, one question from Essence. Essence is asking, why are some lines thinner? Does that mean something or it's all the same? It's pretty much the same, Essence. I'm not sure what do you mean by it being thinner, because all the lines are the same. So if you look at this here, they're all the same, right? They only look thicker sometimes because they overlap. Like sometimes there's 2 zones in the same area and that's why they might look thicker. But I mean, for the most part, they're all the same. So there's not really much of a difference whether they are thicker or thinner. I'm not sure what you're seeing on there. Maybe you're looking at something differently, but if you're just talking about these normals, like these lines right here, then they're pretty much all the same. There's nothing different. It's just sometimes they overlap. So if they overlap, then that's when it's going to look, a little different. Go back to US 30. So US 30 over here. Okay, perfect. If this closes with a buy signal right here, okay, it's pending. If it closes with a buy signal right here, then we'll probably take this for a buy, or we might take it for a buy. I don't know yet. We'll see. Let me check Josh's over here. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if it closes for a buy, I'm probably not going to take it. I'll give it to you guys and you guys can take it if you want as a risky trade. But I'm probably not going to take it yet. I just don't feel comfortable with taking a buy yet. Market still looks like it's coming down. Let's check market sentiment to see how everyone's trading. Actually, that might be a good buy because there's 75% of retail traders who are short the market right now. And if this is the case, then obviously we want to do the opposite, right? If everyone's shorting US 30, we want to buy it because the market usually does the opposite of what everyone else is doing. So, yeah, I might take this buy, but we'll see if it ends up closing. Nice, nice. Yeah, Josh, it's invalid for Josh's strategy right here, but using the order block strategy, it would be valid. But like I mentioned, it's a risky trade. I don't know if it's something that I would want to take, so I'm probably not going to take that, even if it does close. If my mind changes and I do take it, I'll let you guys know, obviously. because if I'm taking it, then I'm pretty positive that it's going to hit, because I don't like losing trades, and you guys are aware of that. That's why we have such a high win rate, especially for US 30, because I wait for the very best trades. I don't just hop in anything. Nick's asking, what website was that you checked market sentiment with? So Nick, it's going to be, if you just Google it, so just Google US 30 sentiment and then go to the IG one. It's on IG.com. So if you see DJI right here, click on that, and that's going to show you market sentiment right there. And that's what I've been using. So we got 50 seconds left on this candle. We'll see how it closes. Yeah, it might close valid right there. But like I mentioned, I'm probably not going to take this trade. Or if I do, maybe I'll take it with a smaller lot size. And I'm not going to take a full lot size yet, because I'm not convinced that market volatility is that heavy yet. Yeah, no problem, Nick. Glad I could help. All right, we've got 20 seconds left on this candle. If this closes, you guys can possibly take it if you want to. You don't have to, but if you want to, it's there. I'll probably take it with a smaller lot size if I take it. Nah, no entry there. So no entry yet. We got 3 seconds left. 2, 1, nothing there. All right, so going back to these Forex pairs, let me just go back down the list, and I'm gonna go and mark up the zones for these other pairs. So I think I looked at odd JPY already, right? Yeah, so that's good. Odd NCD. All right, draw that right there. Delete these since these overlap right here. All right, that's done. Odd USD, same zones from last week. Nothing needs to be changed there. CAD CHF, nothing there. Everything's done. Oh man, it's crazy how this played out, right? So if you guys followed my analysis last week for CAD JPY, I marked this up. It's the same strategy. We just waited for price to break and close past the structure right here. Oops, let me fix that. Yeah, it's kind of cool to see these all play out, you know, at the end of the week. Like for example, right here, I marked this up, I think on the 6th. So this was like on Tuesday, I think price broke below here. I mentioned that it would be a sell. You know, we were looking at the indexes, so it was just going sideways, but it eventually came down like it was supposed to. So that's good for that right there. Let me check this real quick, see what else we got over here. All right, cool. Zones here are pretty much the same. I don't have to change anything for CAD JPY. Let's see. CHF JPY. I don't really like this pair. This pair is it's a really messy pair, so I don't necessarily trade it myself. Well, I mean, I do trade it sometimes, but it's not something that I really like to trade. I just don't like when there's uncertainty in the market, right? Because like I mentioned, you know, I only like to take trades that are like 100%. And this one bounces around way too much. Like there's a lot of back and forth movement, which makes it a bit of a risky pair. Because if you guys are familiar with the CHF and JPY, they're both safe haven currencies. So that's why you'll see that they tend to have some unusual movement. So we have another pending buy signal for, okay. All right, we got 30 seconds left on this. I'll probably hop into this if it closes. All right, we got 20 seconds left. Watch for this right here. And guys, if you guys decide to take this trade, you know, maybe go lighter on your lot size. It is Sunday, so the market is still picking up from the weekend. We're probably not going to see crazy volatility yet, but it'll pick up like in 2 hours as we get closer to London Open. So we got 3 seconds left. No entry. So we still have a pending buy signal right there. I'll come back to it in a bit. Just finish drawing up these zones here for CHF JPY. I'm just going to bring this down because they overlap. All right, we got that right there. I'm just going to connect these together as well. It's kind of pointless to draw like a whole bunch of zones there. So I just need a higher zone right here as well. There we go. There's a ceiling. And one thing you guys want to make sure of is that you guys have a ceiling and a floor when you guys draw this market structure. so that you know exactly what to look out for. Like for example here, if there's no zone here on the 4 hour, I just go on the 8 hour and then I pull up the zone off that. Let's see, Euro odd. I'm just gonna redraw these. There's not too much to draw there. So I'm just gonna draw one big zone right here because they overlap. Another one right here. Another one right there. Going down here. I'm just gonna connect these two right here. All right, solid. So that looks good. I just need to get the higher zone, well, the ceiling. Like I mentioned, you want a floor and a ceiling, right? Price is currently right here. So we got the floor is right here. Now we need the ceiling. So in order to get the ceiling, I go on the 8 hour, I just go on the higher time frame and then I grab it from there. So we got a ceiling right over here. It's actually within a zone right now. All right, cool. Back to the 4 hour. There we go. So that's it for EuroCAD. There's market structure there. Let me just delete this stuff here. Yeah, you guys can see that the market was kind of messy last week, right? Because we did have some news. I think the Fed spoke, also Biden spoke. So when stuff like that happens, market just gets kind of messy. All right, EuroCAD. I don't really have to draw much off this. Let's go back to US 30 real quick. All right, we got about 20 seconds left, or no, actually, 40 seconds actually. So you guys will see me go back and forth between the Forex pairs and US 30 because US 30 is what we're scalping here. What I'm looking for is I'm just looking for an entry so that once we have the entry set up, we can just leave it alone. We can just set and forget it, right? Main key is just finding that entry. So once we get that entry, then we can leave it alone. But right now we just don't have the entry yet. We have 20 seconds left on this candle. If this candle ends up closing, we can possibly take a buy. Looks like it's moving up towards an uptrend, Josh. So it actually looks pretty good. I mean, the higher and higher it goes, the more inclined I am to want to take this trade, since it'll be falling within your within yours. Josh said, no, Ella. If it closes invalid, it will most likely hit CP. Yeah, no, Josh, me and Josh have been going over the strategy. He's been interested in taking these invalid signals, even though they're invalid, they seem to hit even though. So, all right, we got that pending buy right here. If this closes right here, we'll take this buy, and then I'll just set it and I'll forget it pretty much. I'll just let it run, and then we can let it do what it's supposed to do. So we got 2 minutes left. Let me just go down these Forex pairs again. I mean, not again, but continue farther down them just to finish up these zones. Man, this is like super tedious. I hate drawing these zones, but these zones are what makes all the difference between our winners and our losers. So it's important that you guys draw market structure. So that's it for EG, EJ. Now I should just pay somebody to do this for me, right? No, it's not needed. It doesn't take that long to draw these zones. It's just annoying because it takes time. Even though it's not that much time, it's just, you know, I'd rather just have it done for me already. All right, so that's done right there. Let's see, change this zone right here because this one kind of got a little smaller. All right, that looks good. Let's go back to US 30. All right, we got a minute left, so I got a minute to go through as many of these as possible. So let's see, we got those zones right there. Delete this one, it's unnecessary. We got this one right there. All right, EN's done. EU over here. Let's take all this stuff off. EU is fine too. A lot of these we updated them during the week, so they're still pretty much set up from like last week. So there's not much for us to really look at. We got a minute left on this candle, so we'll see how this closes. Yeah, we got 1 minute left. Let me just look at one more GA over here so I can get this out of the way. All right, so these are kind of relevant. I'll delete those. Delete that. Let's check this out right here. Let's go back to US 30. All right, we got 40 seconds left on that candle. As you guys can see, volatility is really low right now. So we're not really seeing very much movement for these pairs here. Josh, you thinking about taking this trade right here if it's invalid? We got 20 seconds left on this candle. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to close with the, this is going to be an invalid entry. If it's invalid, it's probably going to be, yeah, Josh said no, don't like the wick. Yeah, me neither, Josh. So I'm probably not going to take this one either. If it closes like that. Yeah, it's going to close invalid. Yep. All right, I'm not taking this trade. If you guys, I mean, I'm going to mark it up so that we can follow it. I think it's a risky trade, so I'm not going to take it. Reason for that is because there's a huge wick above right here. Like first of all, there's a big wick right there. Second of all, it's an invalid signal, so I don't think it's a good trade. But I'll mark it up. So it's right there if you guys want to follow it, or we'll follow it. I'll come back and check it in a bit, but I don't think it's a good entry. Main thing, so first thing, it's an invalid signal. Second, there's a big, huge wick above here, so it's indicating a push down. Third, it just doesn't fit the requirements, right? If we look over to Josh's strategy over here, it's rejecting off the pivot right there, the K2 pivot. So I wouldn't take it, but I'll follow it. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, it doesn't, you know, because I'm not in the trade, so I don't really care. But if it hits, then even better. So we'll see. It's in profit right now. I'll go back to my Forex pairs real quick, and then I will we'll keep following it as we go. So going back over here to GA. All right, that's done. GC. Delete this, delete that. All right. Set this up right here. All right, I'm good with that. So guys, I'm gonna try to just zoom through these Forex pairs so we can just focus on what's important. US 30, obviously. So I'm gonna go through these real quick. I'm not gonna look at the chat because I just want to get this all done with. And then once this is done, we can focus on what you guys really want, right? Those scalps. So I'm just gonna get this done with so we can get all the busy work out of the way. Delete this right here. The zones look fine. They still look normal. Delete that, delete that, delete that. All right, cool. GN. Solid G over here. It's a nice G. This is the one that we took last week, guys. Full TP off that 40 pips. I think we took 2 GU trades last week, and they were pretty smooth. They all went straight to TP. All right, take this off right here. All right, looks good. Delete that. Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard that. I don't know if you guys could hear that in the background. Like one of the members just messaging right now. He was like, "Hey, is that a Lambo in the background?" I don't know if you guys could hear that revving in the background because I live like in this area where there's a lot of supercars, so you can like hear them out of my window when they're like racing or not racing, but just driving fast. Yeah, no, I hear that car like every night. I think it's a Huracan. I think he lives in my building. So that's it for that right there. All right, so that's good right there. Delete this. Actually, that's fine. Then back up there, another zone right here. This one right here. Yeah, it looks pretty solid, so that's good. Saw a signal. Oh, it's a sell signal. Okay. So we got a pending sell signal right here. This would actually fall under Josh's strategy right here. If you guys want to take this scalp. Josh, what about this? Are you going to take this trade? I might want to hop into this with you guys if this ends up. closing. We got about a minute left on this candle. So this is why I wouldn't have taken that buy right there, right? It doesn't fit for the, yeah, Josh, it's so late. I'm thinking the same thing, Josh. It's a risky trade. So we got about a minute left. I don't know if I'm going to take it. Let's see. Actually, I'll take it with you guys. If it closes as a good bearish candle, I'll take it with you guys. But it is getting kind of late. I don't like holding trades past 10. If you guys are familiar with like the times that I try to avoid trading, I try to avoid trades around 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. because generally that's when the market turnover, well, not market turnover, but it's when the session starts to turn over. Like in the morning from 10 a.m. to like 10 a.m. is when the US session starts to turn over and starts to reverse a little bit. So that's why I'm not really inclined to take a sell here, because this might swing, might swing up from this point. Like it'll go down slightly and then it'll just shoot all the way up once we get into London session. Because if you guys mark up the chart here, you guys can see around, let's see, London opens right here. So this is, oh, wrong tool. Yeah, no entry there. So London opens right here in about 3 hours. It's vertical line. Yeah, London opens right here. So basically what usually happens is around 10 o'clock, and I'll show you an example. So if I mark up any time that's like 10 o'clock here, let me just go back to the previous. Right here. Okay, perfect. So like right here, right at 10 o'clock, you can see that price was kind of like going down, right? So if I go back to here, you can see that price generally starts to reverse around 10 o'clock. So if I turn this stuff off right here, you can see that price kind of goes down from here. So this is market open from 6:30, it goes down. And then as it gets closer to 10 o'clock, market starts to shift the other way, right? And then after 10, it starts to just keep going the opposite way. So like right here, you see that big shift right there. That's why I don't like trading around 10. I mean, we could possibly take trades and, go off this, like pretty much just go off the basic analysis and, take the opposite trades once it reaches that point. But, like I mentioned, I don't like taking risky trades. I like to take trades that I know are going to win. And again, right here, right? This is around 10 o'clock, I think, at night. I think it's like 1800. Yeah. So like right here, you can see, from this point, price is going up. This is at night at 10 p.m. So right here, price is going up. And then as soon as it gets close to 10, price just ends up reversing the other way. Right there, right? And I only know this because I trade US 30 every day. Like I know exactly how it moves. And I know when it's risky to trade it and when it's safe to trade it. The best time to trade it, in my opinion, is a New York session. So when the New York Stock Exchange opens at 6:30, that's why I always trade in the morning from 6:30 to 10. And that's why we have these amazing win rates, right? Like it's crazy. Last week we had no losses. All these trades were taken during that time period. So that's why if you guys just follow my trade, there's a lot of people here who don't even know how to trade. They just take what I trade in the morning and they lock in some massive profits. And this is just stuff from my own research, just from my own practice. Like for example, again, right here, right? Same thing again at 10 p.m. So I'll mark it up right here. So as you can see, price was coming down right here. And then around 10 p.m. it starts to reverse the other way. And this is just from my own knowledge because I trade at US 30 all the time. It does the same thing almost every day. See? So that's why I'm not really, and we got a big drop right there. That's why I'm kind of worried to take a sell here, because if you guys do take a sell here, like I mentioned, it is about to be 10, like in 2 hours. So when that happens, it's probably gonna go down for a bit. And then at 10, it's just gonna reverse on you. So if you guys want to take a trade, I mean, feel free, but just keep that in mind that price will probably reverse on you as it gets closer to London open. So there's a sell entry right there. Where's Josh's strategy right here? Yeah, so if you guys want to take this, I'll mark it up. I'm not going to take it. I'll just mark it up for you guys. If you guys decide to take it, or if you guys just want to take a risky trade, this would be the risky trade for you guys, because this actually falls under Josh's strategy here. So, I mean, this does look like a good trade, but just like I mentioned, it's just too risky for me personally, because I don't like to lose trades. I'd rather skip a trade and miss a winner than take a risky trade and lose it and, risk losing it. But there's a nice rejection off this point right here. We have the sell signal right there. And it could possibly hit TP. It's not that far, right? It's a small little move. The only problem is if price goes sideways for a while, it's probably what's going to happen. It's going to go sideways. And then as soon as it reaches like 10 or London Open, which would be over here, that's where you're going to see some crazy volatility and it'll start spiking. So it might just go sideways for like a couple hours. And then all of a sudden it'll spike up or it'll spike down, one way or the other. Kadri said, my K2 momentum indicators isn't lining up with yours. Why is that so? Make sure you're using currency.com, Kadri, because you're probably using a different broker. You're using different broker data. Currency.com is the most accurate, in my opinion, for US 30. So if you want to use this for US 30, I use currency.com data. You're probably using like Awanda, or you might be using FXCM. FXCM is probably the worst one. I probably would not use them, but I use currency.com. If you want to have the same setup as me, then I would recommend using currency.com data. So other than that, yeah, I have this marked up here. So if you guys want to take the trade, feel free. There's the parameters. I'm not going to take it. So this is an at your risk trade. If I see something better, then yeah, I'll take it. But right now, I'm not going to risk it. So you can see a lot of whipsaw action right here, right? Price just keeps going back and forth. Like price goes up, then it goes down, and it's probably just going to go sideways up until London Open. Yeah, same with the other entry over here, right? Risky entry there. It just doesn't really line up with what we're looking for here. So here's what I'll do. I wouldn't take that sell there, but if I see a buy, like say, for example, I get a buy signal, or actually I take that back. I wouldn't take it because this right here, we already have a buy, but it's invalid. But we'll see. If we get a valid buy, then I might hop into that, but it's not going to fit the requirements for either of the strategies. Even Josh's, or actually might for Josh's over here. Because if it swings up far enough, we get a buy signal, then it's going to swing up for a buy instead of a sell. But neither of these trades I'm taking. So none of these are going to be any of the official entries. The official entries are only the ones that I take and the ones that I tell you that are, worth taking. So we'll have this marked up. I'm going to go back to these Forex pairs and just finish up my markups. Finish this up real quick. Let's see. All right, the markups look good right there. CAD, USD, CHF right here. And then as it gets closer to 10, that's usually when I'm going to sign off. And then I'll just hop back on tomorrow morning for New York session where we can actually kick it off with actual volatility in the market. So I'm going to delete that, and then draw this right here, this down here, delete that. All right, that looks solid. So that's it. I'm done with the Forex pairs. Now we're done with this. We can focus on US 30 now. So I'll check out the chat, see if you guys have any questions that I need to take a look at. But other than that, let's go back to US 30 over here. Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. I have it marked up right here. So if it does hit, then, that's going to be a good start for us. But we'll just keep watching as we go. So let me pull up the YouTube chat real quick, see what I missed over here. Scroll up real quick. All right, cool. All right, let me check out the YouTube chat real quick, see if there's any questions here that I missed on. Let's see. Nick said, what's your setup like? How many monitors do you run? I only have 2 monitors. Nick, I have an iMac Pro. So I have like a big screen right here. This is my big screen where I do all my trading. And then I have a smaller monitor right here. I mean, it's not small. It's like what is it, like 30-inch monitor, I think. So I have that right there. This is a YouTube on this side. And then I have just a full YouTube right here. I think you can check. So Nick, if you go on the YouTube channel, I used to live stream my sessions. I used to have my phone like back here, and then it would live stream everything that I'm doing. So you can see my setup on there if you want to look. Just go on the Instagram page, instagram.com/K² Trades, and then you'll see my live videos there. Just go to the live videos and you'll see my setup from there. I only have 2 screens. I mean, you don't really need all those screens. I know it's cool. It looks cool sometimes when you have fucking 16 screens up, but in reality, it's a distraction, right? For me, I only trade US 30, so I don't need like all those screens. If I'm trading like gold and I'm trading like a bunch of different assets, then yeah, you know, a lot of screens would help. But for me, I only trade US 30, so I don't really need all those screens. I just need one, so I have my main focus on that one pair. And you know, when trades appear, it's easy for me to just hop in and execute rather than looking at like a bunch of screens. And I do have tabs here, so like instead of having different screens, I just click on the tabs here. If I want to look at Forex, these are like my Forex charts. If I want to match indexes over here, I have my index chart right here. If I want to look at US 30 on the 10-minute, I have it here. This is basically the US 30 daily chart. Right here, I have the US 30 10-minute scalps. Over here, I have the 3-minute scalps. And then this is for the new strategy that I'm working on right now. So that's pretty much it. It's not really all that complicated, and it's not really that flashy. It's just, you know, it gets the job done. So other than that, let me scroll down real quick and see if I missed anything else over here. Mark said, once the zones are marked up, do you have to mark them up throughout the day or just at the beginning of each trade day? So Mark, you should always check the zones to see if they've updated if you're about to take a trade. So what I recommend is always double check your zones before you actually enter a trade and make sure that, you know, everything is solid, because sometimes new zones will come up when you least expect it. And that's going to be the difference between, you know, catching a good trade or catching a bad trade. Let me just check the chat real quick. I think we got this over here. Looks good. Yeah, so like I was mentioning earlier for US 30, guys, it's probably just going to go sideways. I don't think there's going to be much volatility up until maybe like an hour before London open. Like I mentioned, London open is right here. So we'll probably see some actual volatility moves once we get closer to like this area, like right here. Where, like right there. Yeah. So it'll probably just go sideways for a bit. And then once we get to like 11, it'll start to pick up a little bit. And then at, you know, at London open over here, it'll choose its direction. It'll either go up or it'll go down. My guess is that it's going to be up. So if you guys are wondering what I think is going to happen for US 30, I think US 30 is going to be bullish. The reason for that is because the market sentiment is showing that 75% of retail traders are short the market, right? So if there's that many people short the market, the institutions and the market makers aren't going to push price down, because if they push price down, the retail traders are going to make money, right? If the retail traders make money, the banks and institutions don't make money. So that's why they're going to do the opposite. And I think US 30 is going to be bullish probably during London session and then probably into US session as well, unless there's something that's pushing price down, right? If there's like specific news that's pushing price in one direction, then yeah, it's going to keep dropping. But in my perspective, I don't like to trade where everyone's trading, right? Majority of people fail at trading. And if you keep trading like everyone else, you're probably gonna end up like them. That's why we usually do the opposite. If we see people trading short, like if the majority of people are trading short, we're gonna go long. If a lot of people are trading long, we're gonna go short. But we'll see how that goes. I'll leave this marked up like this, or I'll remind you guys tomorrow morning, and we'll see how it plays out. But I think it's gonna be bullish in my perspective. So it'll probably go sideways for a bit. Where's the all-time high? Is this the all-time high right here? Yeah, all-time highs right here. See, the problem with this is a lot of people think US 30 is going to drop because it's bouncing off this all-time high. But what usually happens is the opposite, right? People try to sell here and then it just keeps going up. If you guys followed me in March, which most of you guys did, you guys remember that sentiment was like 80% short for like the whole month of March, right? And what happened during March? It just kept going up. So you guys can't fall for those traps. Where's it at right here? Or let me go on the higher time frame on the 10. So looking at on the 10-minute over here, as you guys can see, it was like around March. Was it like towards the right here? See, so like it was like towards the end of March, I think, where like everyone just kept yeah, it was like right here. Everyone kept selling because they thought it was gonna drop, because it was like, oh, it's gonna reach like the all-time high. I think at that time was, where was it at? Oh, it was this right here. It was like middle March or early March. So like this whole time, people thought price was going to drop, because what happened here was that this was the all-time high, right? So when price got to the all-time high right there, people kept trying to sell. But as soon as people sold, the institutions and banks just kept pushing price higher and higher. And it, for whatever reason, people kept thinking it was going to drop, and it never dropped. It just kept going higher and higher. And whoever was selling just lost a ton of money, right? And we were doing the opposite. We were actually buying while everyone was selling. And we made a lot of profit off that. I think, what was our results for March? Yeah, this is indices. So for March, we had a huge month. Look at how many pips we made in March. We made 11,500 because we just kept buying while everyone was selling, and it worked in our favor. So that's why I usually don't like to trade in the direction of everyone else. I try to do the opposite. You have to like think, and you have to think differently, because if you think how everyone else is thinking, you're probably not going to last in this game very long. Because I mean, you could even Google it. Google like what's the win rate of retail traders. I think it's pretty low. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Retail trader fail rate. Let's see. All right. Yeah, if you just Google it, see retail traders fail rate. Yeah, it shows that 70% of retail traders fail to make profit their first year. As much as 96% of Forex traders lose money and exit it, because yeah, about 90% of people fail at trading because they all do the same thing, right? Everyone trades the same way, and that's why we trade differently here at K2. And that's why if you guys have been following K2, you guys have seen the results, right? Like these aren't even my profits. This is everyone else. Like you can see every single day we have profits from everyone. It's not just me. I don't even show my profits anymore because there's no point. Like some of you guys here make more profit than me because you guys are like really focused on this strategy, and I'm just too busy like teaching people and going on these live sessions, which it doesn't bother me, but that's why I'm trying to focus more on my own trading, right? Because everyone here is doing pretty well. Let's go US 30. We just got a buy signal on the 3-minute. See, this is why I wouldn't want to take that trade. It's getting too late. And the sentiment is too high. So if this does push up, like I mentioned right here, I wouldn't be surprised if it pushes up. If we get a buy signal here, I'll probably take this one. So I'll probably be taking this. Josh, what do you think? Are you going to take this trade? If this ends up closing right here, then yeah, I would take this trade. It's going to fall under the new strategy that I'm applying right here because we have the order block right here. And this would be the first valid buy signal right there. So we'll see how it closes. We got 2 minutes left on this candle. If it closes, I'll take it on my own account. That's how you guys will know that I think this is a good trade because I'm actually taking it myself. But we'll see how this ends up playing out. See, Josh messaged me. Josh said, yeah, there has to be a no trade zone from 8 to 10 p.m. I think 8 to 10 p.m. is still all right. I think once you get past 10 p.m., Josh, that's when it starts to get risky. I still trade around 8. It's just, if it fits what I'm looking for. And I'm more inclined to take a buy here because there's so many sellers for US 30. If this was more like down the middle, like 60% or even 50%, then yeah, I would trade for a sell. But with more people selling, I'd rather bet against retail traders. I'd do the opposite. I'll just take the buy. So we're just going to wait for this to close. We got about a minute left here. If it closes, I'll take it. Let me see what the price difference is here for US 30 and FCMO. Let's see, 33,719 minus 33,706. It's only off by like 13 pips, not a big difference. Let me see what Josh said over here. Let's see. Josh said, I don't even see an order block. The order block's right here, Josh. It's right down here. It's right here. There's these blue lines. I'm not sure if you see it on yours. I don't know if we're using the same data. Yeah, we got about 30 seconds left on this candle right here. If this ends up closing, then we'll take it. All right, we got 20 seconds left, guys. All right. We got 15 seconds left right here. We got 10 seconds left. I got my finger on the buy button. I'm ready to take this buy as soon as it closes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm in the trade, guys. So if you guys want to take it, I'm in this trade already. There's the parameters right there. I'm gonna go make my little changes for the price difference. I'm just gonna do by 15. So 33,743 minus 15. 33,668 minus 15. All right. Got the setup right there. So 133,653. TP 3728. All right, I'm good. Got everything set up. Let it do what it's supposed to do. So let me just set my parameters right here, or my alerts, I mean. This is going to be US 30 3-minute scalp. TP. Minute scalp. All right, so I got my alert set up right there. I'll give you guys an update when it plays out. Other than that, I think we're good for now. So let me just get this over here. All right, cool. So it looks good. Let me just scroll over here real quick, see what everyone else is talking about. Let me see if I missed anything. Hamizan said gold will keep climbing. Morning, Shawn. Hey, morning, Hamizan. I'll take a look at gold for you. So I'll look at that. Let me just check the other questions here if there's anything else that I'm looking at before we continue on. Let's see. Nick saying, why don't you draw zones on US 30? US 30 is it just moves like it's a different type of asset. Nick, the zones do work on US 30, but this strategy doesn't require the zones, and we're scalping, so the zones don't really matter on the shorter time frames, right? Because it moves too fast. If we were trading US 30 on the higher time frame, or if you guys ask me for like a more in-depth analysis, I do draw the zones, but since we're scalping, it's not really necessary because we're catching momentum, right? It doesn't matter if there's a zone here. Because look, check this out. If I turn on the zones here, price generally, actually, I don't have the zones on here. If I draw the zones over here, turn on K2SR, you can see that price generally will break through it. I mean, it'll bounce off it, but it's not as strong as the higher time frames. That's why I don't really draw the zones off these, because they're just they just move too fast, and it's just not really necessary. So I don't draw them on here, but if I'm looking at it from a higher time frame, like the 1 hour or the 4 hour, something like that, like looking for the bigger moves, then yeah, I'll use the zones. But since I'm just scalping, it's not really necessary. All right, so I'm gonna check out gold real quick for Hamizan. So Hamizan, let me pull up gold for you. So here is gold right there. Let me go ahead and delete everything off the chart. So I'll show you guys how I analyze everything from scratch. I zoom out from here. Here's a naked chart. First thing I'm going to do is identify market structure. To do that, I turn on the K2SR indicator, and I go ahead and draw my zones on the chart right here so that we can identify where the rejection points are. Because obviously you don't want to trade where price is going to be rejecting from, right? You want to be trading where price is moving freely. So we got this right here. This right here. This is one big zone, I believe. Yeah. So we got this one right here. And lastly, one down here. All right, so looking at this right here, let's turn this off, zoom in a little closer. So zooming out from this point, you'll see that market structure has been established over here, right? So for example, over here, I'll draw a vertical line from this point. So we have price break into this area right here. This would be considered market structure, right? Within this area, because price breaks into the zone, it pretty much just bounces within this area. As soon as price breaks below, this is brand new market structure right here, right? So this is market structure right here, consolidation, it breaks down. And then at this point, this is brand new market structure again right here, as price ends up going between this area, right? Because if I just delete all these things right here, so if I delete this and this right here, you can see that this is perfect market structure, right? Price breaks into the zone, it comes down, and it just keeps bouncing back and forth. Looking at current price, so having that drawn right there, you can see that this would be considered new market structure within this area over here. So just looking at this here, I'll just delete this right here. Let me see what's important here. I would consider probably this the market structure for this right here. So this is probably what's important at this point. What I think is going to happen here, Hamizan, so I'll turn on the momentum indicator to identify our bias. So right here, we have a sell bias. Reason for that sell bias is because we have a sell signal right here. So we have a sell signal right here. We have a rejection from this point right here. And that's why we would have a sell bias. However, I wouldn't trade within this area right here. Hamizan, because looking at this point here, price can do one of two things. Price can either come down and test this structure right here, or it can easily just come back up right here and finish the move, because this move never came and tested the structure above here. So looking at this here, this is pretty much going to be my short-term analysis. Let me look at the dollar index. So if you guys are familiar with how gold moves, you can pair it with the dollar index. So depending on how the dollar is moving, that's where you can base your bias for trading gold, because gold moves opposite of the dollar. So for example, right here, the dollar looks like it's attempting to swing up. Look from this point, right? Because currently it was coming down, but then now it broke above here. So the thing is, if the dollar continues to push up from this point, because you can see we have a nice rejection off this pivot right here. If price ends up rejecting off this over here, then and it pushes up, then you could expect gold to continue dropping. Like I mentioned earlier, it could probably come down and then test this zone right here, where it can either break below and continue further, or it can reject off this point and just, pretty much consolidate within this area. Because you can see prices consolidated within this area for a long time. When it breaks into this area, it has a hard time getting out of it. But looking at the dollar over here, it's kind of hard to tell. The reason for it being hard to tell is because the US market isn't open yet, right? When the US market opens tomorrow, then we'll start to see some actual movement here for the dollar index. And with that said, we can probably put up a better analysis for gold. But other than that, I think there's two different scenarios that can play out here, Hamizan. Price can either come down from here. That's going to be scenario number one. Scenario number two is price can just bounce back off from here and just continue shooting back up from this area. So there's two different things that can happen right here. I personally think because a lot of things are pointing in that direction with the dollar index being the main time where I would trade gold is if price ends up breaking below here. So if price, like this would be a risky trade here, because like I mentioned, you're not going to be sure which direction it goes. But if price ends up breaking below here, then that's where I would take the sell. That's where I'd be convinced to take the sell here and catch that for a full TP, because you can see when it happened over here, right? When price broke below here, look what happened. Price broke below the structure right here. This is a strong support structure right here. So when price broke below, if you took that sell right there, whoops, let me delete that. If you took a sell right here, you would have hit full TP right there, right? For 160 pips right there. Again, over here, when price broke below this area, if you took that sell right there, another full TP, right? For another 160 pips. So if price breaks below here, it's going to give you that confirmation that price is probably going to drop. And then you could probably hit your full TP right there for another 160 pips. So that's probably what I'd be looking for right there. Because like I mentioned, you don't want to trade where price is going to be possibly rejecting from, right? You want to trade where price is going to be free to move around. So if price breaks below here, look at how price moves right here, right? Price broke below here and it's a free move down here. Same situation right here. Price broke below, free move down. There's no areas of rejection. The problem with trading within this area is that it's within a zone. So price can easily reject off any of these areas here at any point. If I turn on the K2SR indicator, there's a bunch of zones in this area, right? So price can bounce off here. It can bounce off here, or it can even bounce from down here. It's just risky. So if you guys are familiar with how I trade, I don't like taking risky trades. I like to trade trades that I know are for sure going to hit. And that's why I wouldn't take the trade yet. But if you want to take the trade, Hamizan, that would be my guess right there, that it's probably going to drop if it ends up closing below here. Let's see if the scalps are hitting for that right here. So here's our position for US 30. It's currently around entry point, but slightly in profit. If I pull up gold over here for my scalps, let's see. Yeah, so it looks like, well, it looks like it's possibly in a buy right now. Currently, it's a short-term buy right there. But if you look at all the other entries here, like for example, we had the order block right here. So this is the most recent entry. We had a sell order block. We had a sell signal right here. If you took that for a sell, that'd be a short for about, we'd probably shoot for like maybe, I don't know what the sweet spot would be, but it'd probably be somewhere less, like maybe like 100 pips. I think that's what you guys have been using. So if you took that trade right there, full TP, if you took this buy right here, because we had the buy order block right here. So rejection off that point, buy entry right there. If you took that buy, you would have, let's see if it hit TP. Yeah, it would have hit TP right there, 2 for 100 pips. right? So full TP right there, full TP right there. I don't know if there's any other entries here that we could have possibly taken. I mean, there's a lot of entries here. Like there's a whole bunch of sells that we could have taken over here. Like sell right there, sell within this whole area right here. Like if you took any of these sells here, these would have hit full TP as well. Is this from today? This isn't from Friday actually. So full TP right there. Same old, same old. Looking at this one right here, this looks like this would possibly be a buy. But I'm not sure if it'd be a safe trade. Let's see, 100 pips. And this is short term. This isn't something that's going to be moving like really quickly. So it's technically in profit right now if you took that buy right there. Obviously, you guys probably wouldn't have this yet because I haven't released the strategy to you guys. This is going to be the new strategy that I'm currently working on. This is where like what most of my focus is going. That's why I've been so busy and I haven't been able to really answer your guys' questions or emails right away because I'm trying to wrap up the strategy so that I can release it to you guys and then you guys can take these trades with me. But yeah, I mean, it looks like there's a buy right now, Hamizan, if you're looking for a scalp, but it's a risky buy. It's not one that I would necessarily hop into because the market hasn't opened yet for the US. So we'll see how that plays out. But I can follow up with you tomorrow and we'll see how it's moved since then when the market actually opens up. So other than that, let's go back to US 30. Not really much moving right here. This is what I was referring to earlier, guys. It's probably just going to go sideways for a bit. But I think overall, it's going to be bullish. So I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm not even going to touch it. And then I'll see how it plays out once we get to a London session. So there we go with that bullish move right there. I'm currently in profit a couple $100, nothing crazy. And I'm not expecting much right now anyways. It is Sunday, so market is still kind of slow. There's not much for us to really be looking at. But we'll see. I mean, if the market picks up, I'll stay on for a little longer. But if it just stays dead like this and it doesn't really move, we already have a trade running. So this is all that we have running right now. Looking at the Forex pairs over here, I'll see if there's any entries that we could possibly take. But if not, we'll probably wrap up the session a little early. And then we'll be back here tomorrow morning for the New York session so we can start hopping into some quicker scalps. Because that's when the market's actually going to be moving. But yeah, let me just show you guys real quick. I have like nothing to show you guys. I was going to show you guys my profit, but it's like literally an entry. So it's just bouncing between like a couple $100 in profit and then like slight negative because it's just pulling down right here. So let me just see if there's anything else for me to look at over here as well. Sam said sound is scratchy, Shawn. So is the audio on the stream kind of off, guys? I'm not sure if it is for everybody. But Sam just mentioned that the sound is scratchy. I don't know if I'm having internet connectivity issues again here. Yeah, I mean, is it fine on your side, Josh? Unless he's talking about scratch. If he hears scratching noises, my dog's trying to break into my office right now. You can hear him like trying to open the door. He usually does that. I had to lock him out because the dude's too loud. He keeps barking. Let's see. I got a couple questions here from you guys in the Telegram. Oh, they're just basic questions. But yeah, guys, there's not really much movement right now. So we'll see. We'll see how everything plays out. I'll look at the Forex pairs real quick. If you guys have any other questions, put them in the chat right now and we can take a look. But other than that, I think, like I mentioned, it is Sunday, so the market's not really moving. There's not much for us to really look at in the first place. So if you guys have questions, I can answer them. If not, we'll probably log off a little early today and then we'll pick back up tomorrow morning for the New York Open. Okay. Yeah, no, Sam, I see. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, the connectivity was just a little off. Yeah, because I wasn't sure if you heard my dog like trying to, he knows how to open the door. It's weird, dude. He's a small dog, but he knows how to open the doors. So you can hear him scratching and he's like jumping, trying to pull the handle down. Yeah, so I think that's it for right now. Let me just check the Forex pairs real quick. So I'll do a quick analysis and I'll just show you guys what I'm looking out for here. So like right here, we have a sell bias, right? So for odd CAD, I want price to close below here, so that if price ends up closing below here, I can take a sell and I'll just ride this down there for a full TP for about, 36 pips or so. but that hasn't happened yet, right? When it does happen, then I'll take the trade. Same with this right here for odd CHF. It's the same pattern that I was mentioning before, right? We had a rejection from this point. We got a sell signal right here. We had price break and close below this structure. So if you were to take this trade right here for a sell, there you go, full TP, right? And it hasn't finished its move yet. Technically, it's probably going to push down to here and drop even further. But I don't like entering trades this late. So that's pretty much it for that right there. Odd JPY. I'm just going to go down all the Forex pairs. I'll see. So this looks like a solid sell right here if this ends up closing in the next 50 minutes or so. We got a rejection from this point. We got a sell signal right here. If you took this sell right there, there you go, full TP, right? So if it ends up closing again below here, and we take that sell right there, another easy full TP right there, right? I'm going to confirm the move here. I'm going to confirm the strength of the odd JPY. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to pair up the AXY, which is the Aussie index. And then we got zoom out from this point. So we got the AXY right here, and then we got the JXY over here, which is Japanese index. So this is kind of a iffy move right here because, so if we want this to drop right here, we want the Japanese index to be strong. So we want the Japanese yen to be strong and push up from this point. And then we want the AXY, which is the Aussie index, for it to go down. Because if you guys are familiar with how price moves, basically when price is going down, so let me just move this up right here or move it over here. So when price is going down, like how we want it to right here, that means that the second currency is stronger than the first currency. Vice versa, when price is going up this way, that means that the first currency is stronger than the second currency, right? So in order for this to play out like how we want it to, for it to drop, we need this to go up and we need this to go down. That's, you know, basic fundamentals of looking at these currencies, like matching the strength of each currency. There really isn't much movement here, although the AXY is bearish because it is coming down, and it looks like the JXY is trying to push above. So if that ends up happening where this drops and this continues to push up, then we could probably expect this to drop even further to the full TP down there, right? So that's basically what we're looking for on this. Other than that, let me see. Yeah, other than that, Stanley said, damn, bro, you're going to take that trade and end the live on us? Yeah, bro. I mean, that's why we have our TP stop loss set. You know, it's just a set and forget trade. We set the TP stop loss and we just let it do what it's supposed to do. It was like the book that you posted, bro, like the trading in the zone, right? If you're trading, like you can't be watching the charts all the time. If you watch the charts all day, that's where you start to get stressed out and you start to worry about your trades. If you're able to just set your trade and let it do what it's supposed to do, then, you know, that's how you become a robot at trading, like how I trade. You guys see me trade. I don't really think about much. Like if I see a good trade, I take it. I don't really think too much about it. You know, I'll check off my confirmations. If the confirmations meet, then I take the trade and I let it do what it's supposed to do. The thing is, if you're watching the trade all day, that's when you get nervous and you start closing the trade out too early, or you end up taking on more risk. You end up moving your stop loss because you're like, oh, is my stop loss too tight? You think about it too much, right? And that's what I avoid doing, because by doing that, you start to drive yourself crazy because you're like, you're not really confident about your trade if you keep looking at it. And that's just the point I'm trying to get across to you guys, right? It's all about trade psychology. The thing is, we have a strategy that works already. The only thing that you really need is trade psychology. Like I give you guys a blueprint of everything I do here, and everyone does really well with it. You know, you guys have seen the profits for everyone over here. You know, looking at everyone's profits, if we go to any random day here and you guys want to see how people did on a certain day, like if you guys are brand new here and you guys are wondering like, oh, let me just go to a random day. Like, I don't know, I'll just scroll to a random day up and then we just stop on a random day. Like, let's go to like April 4th, right? Every day someone's making profit. Like if you want to see how K2 was doing on April 1st, I can scroll to April 1st here and I'll show you everyone's profits from April 1st, right? Because everyone here has followed exactly what I've told you guys. You guys just learned the strategy. Like, you know, like Cheryl over here, she changed her name to making a K2, locking about like 3,000 on that day. And we lock in profits every single day. There's not one day where nobody's not there's not one person profiting in K2, right? If I scroll to a random day, like I'll scroll to like March 17th, right? Marcus is profiting on this day. Henry's profiting on this day. Eunice is profiting on this day, right? 2,000 for that day. Because people follow directions, you know, that's all you really need to do. You need to follow directions and don't let your trade psychology get in the way. Obviously you're gonna run into losses sometimes, but you know, overall we're pretty profitable every single day here. And these aren't even my profits. These are everyone else's. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what all I got to say about letting your trades run. Let's see, Nick said January 1st. I don't think the market was open on January 1st, Nick. So let me just pull it up real quick. Let's see, if you want to go to January 1st, I'll scroll up. You guys can see all the profits here from all those days. I think January 1st was a weekend, wasn't it? Market wasn't open on that day. But let me just go anyways. I'll show you if I could find it. You guys can see how many profits we have here. Like I got to scroll up so high just to get to January 1st. So let's see. All right. January 2nd. So let me just check the calendar real quick. The calendar for, let's see. January 1st was a Friday. So the market was closed on that day. It was New Year's Day on Friday. Market was closed. Nobody was trading. But on January, well, we were trading the day before. So on Thursday, January 31st, Cheryl over here locked in 8,000, right? The day after, on the 2nd, this was, what was it, Saturday? Oh, because yeah, Isai over here, he was trading on the 2nd because he was trading Bitcoin. So there is people here who are trading on that day, but the market was closed on the 1st because it was New Year's Day. But here on the 2nd, you can see other people were trading. Like Isai over here is trading on Saturday. He locked in some profit. This was Sunday, the day after New Year's Day. So right here, this was a Sunday when the market reopened. Lisa over here locked in 310. Tam over here locked in a couple $100 right here as well. Tam's other account over here, a couple $100. Miriam said, oh my God, Shawn, look what I woke up to this morning. She traded US 30. She locked in about 382. Chelsea over here, same day. She locked in about 1,374. Sorry guys, my dogs are barking. So I had to lock them out of the office. But yeah, I mean, these are pretty much the profits for that day, Nick. The market wasn't open on the 1st, so that's why we don't have profits for that day. But every other day after that, so the day before it, on the 31st, everyone, like we closed out that year pretty strong, guys. If you guys look at the 31st, like Jazz passes FTML right here. He got funded on the 31st, actually. You know, Benson over here, he's like, yo, if no one tells you this, you're the GOAT. He locked in $59 off US 30. Tam over here locked in a couple $100. Nebros over here locked in 9,000. And this was a day before. Like a lot of people don't trade on the day before New Year's, but we traded and you know everyone did pretty good. John locked in about $1,000 there. Damien locked in a couple $100 or a couple $1,000 actually right there. And yeah, CC locked in 1,000. You guys will see who's like normally trading, you know, all throughout the time. But yeah, other than that, there really isn't much for us to look at right now. Yeah, no, Stanley said, you're right. I just wanted to know if you would close for whatever reason. Nah, Stanley, I'm going to let that trade run. I'm not going to touch it. Like I said, I'm just going to let it do what it's supposed to do, right? So I took this trade right here. It's currently just around entry. Like I mentioned, it's going to go sideways for like the next couple hours. That's why I don't really want to worry about it, Stanley, because the thing is, if we're watching this all day or like, you know, for the next couple hours, that's where we're going to start to second guess our trade, right? And when you second guess the trade, that's when the trade ends up hitting TP and you're like, damn, I should have just held on to it. But let me just go down these pairs again real quick for Forex to see if there's anything for us to necessarily take here. I'm going to mark up AUDJPY, come back to that for a possible entry. But I'm going to see if there's anything else here that we could possibly take before I log off for the night. So let's see, nothing there. Nothing there. All right, nothing there. Yeah, so as you guys can see, the Forex market is like not even moving at all. It's pretty dead right now. So that's why we're more focused on US 30. But I think that's it, guys. Let me just check real quick to see if there's anything else that I missed. Sean's asking, using rectangles, how do you mark up structure all the way across? So Sean, when you use the rectangle tool right here, just double click on it. If you draw it on the chart, go right here and click extend right and extend left. Because normally it'll look like this, you know, if you just have one side or just the rectangle. When you click extend right, it goes across the screen to the right, and extend left to go towards the left. And that's how you you set it up this way. Yep, no problem. Dave said, hey, Shawn, check with your coder. He should be able to have those zones drawn automatically from existing. Yeah, so the problem is, Dave, when I first created this indicator, that option wasn't available. So I need to check in with him. Maybe we can update the indicator so that we could have it filled in. But also the only problem with that is that sometimes these zones overlap, right? So when they overlap, that's going to be an issue because there's going to be like double zones right here and it's not going to look right. So, I mean, there's little things that we can change about it, but I'll have to talk to him to see if he can make it a little better, or we can possibly just have them filled in and then we don't have to go in and draw these ourselves. So other than that, guys, I think that's it for the night. If you guys have any other questions, put them in the chat right now, and then I can take a look at it, whatever you guys want me to take a look at, or I can explain anything that you guys are confused about. But if your question doesn't get answered today, it's fine, because I'll be live again in a couple hours anyways tomorrow morning. So I'm going to go live again every day at 6:30 a.m. That's our normal trading time. And if your questions don't get answered here, I can answer them tomorrow. So other than that, guys, I think that's it for the night. Let me just see if there's anything. Dave said maybe he could mark them and make it so you can delete only the ones you don't want. I don't think it's going to work like that, Dave, because this algorithm that I created it's specifically like these zones. If you guys are wondering how these zones are created, the way that these zones get created is that price has to test a specific price point more than 2 or 3 times. So when that same exact price point, like for example, right here, 0.94182, it's been tested at some point at that same exact price point 2 or 3 times in the past. It doesn't have to happen right here. It could have happened like way over here, right? So, you know, changing it to that, it's not really gonna help it, David. That's probably gonna be more it's gonna hurt it more than it'll be beneficial. So, I mean, yeah, it's gonna be less work, but it's not gonna be as accurate because you want to know where all the zones are, obviously, right? If you don't have all the zones here, then you're not going to be able to identify the full market structure. Like these zones here that we drew, like for example, it's for USD CHF, right? If I turn this on right here, you can see that all these zones are on the chart. And then drawing this right here, you can see that these zones go far back, like the same area right here where price currently is. This was tested back in September of 2020. It was tested back in July of 2020, and then back in March of 2020. So you want to make sure that you know where the zones are. The whole point isn't to make less work, it's to be accurate, right? That's why our win rate's so high, because we're very accurate with our market structure and our zones. So I think that's it for tonight, guys. If you guys do have questions, you guys can reach out to me on Telegram. I have like a ton of messages to get through. So if you guys do message me tonight, I might not be able to get to you until maybe tomorrow, because I have like 100 emails to get through from yesterday. And then I have like a whole bunch of Telegram messages to respond to as well. So if you guys have questions, if you guys want to just wait for the next live session tomorrow morning, that'd probably be the best way to get in contact with me. Otherwise, if you guys want to send me a message, just give it at least a 24-hour period for me to respond, because I just got a lot of messages to get through. So it's not that I'm ignoring you. It's just that I got too much stuff to do right now. So other than that, guys, I'll keep you guys updated on this US 30 position. Like I mentioned, it's probably just going to go sideways for a bit. It's going to go sideways until like midnight. And then I expect it to shoot up from that point. So I'm just going to let it be, let it go sideways for as long as it needs to. And then hopefully it just shoots up around this area and then hits our TP, right? Looking at the market sentiment, there's still there's still a lot of people short. So I'm not trying to trade with all these people. I want to do the opposite of them. I want to trade with the banks and institutions. I want to do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. So other than that, I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning, and I'll give you guys an update if and when it hits TP or stop loss. You know, I'm going to be 100% transparent with you guys. You guys know that I'm in this trade too. So I do have a bias. Like obviously I want it to go up with you guys because I'm in this trade with you. Because if I lose, you guys lose. You know, if I win, you guys win. So our goal here is to win and to keep on winning every single day. So other than that, guys, thanks for showing up, and I will catch you guys here tomorrow morning for our